FanDuel Player Spotlight. And our star player profile brought to you by FanDuel. Enter Fantasy TBT contest, compete for real cash payouts all tournament long. If you watch Big Ten basketball, heck, if you watch top 25 basketball, Ethan Happ.
Ethan Happ is an exceptional player from the Big Ten, man. I mean, he's a 4-year starter, freshman of the year in the Big Ten. The Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award winner, just an outstanding player. 17.9 points, 8 rebounds as a senior, as a junior, I should say, and he was a first-team all-conference player as well. People are very familiar with Ethan Happ and what he could do. Carried Wisconsin for many years, turned himself into a great pro.
And again, our FanDuel player profile for Sideline Cancer. Diamond Stone is a name that we've been very familiar with over the years. Only ended up playing a year of college basketball under Mark Turgeon at Maryland and ended up a second-round pick. But his NBA career didn't quite go the way that he wanted it to. So this is a chance to maybe not only pick up some wins for a really good cause, but also showcase a chance to get back into the league.
This is absolutely a showcase scenario when you consider the 197 countries. There might be an NBA scout or two watching this with the fact that NBA is about to try to do what TBT is doing. So Diamond Stone with a real opportunity here.
And he's facing a Team Hines squad that our own Jen Hale is about to tell us, playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Matt, I would actually describe it as a very large chip on Team Hines' shoulders. TBT fans from last year will remember Team Hines went deep. They had a huge run last year. However, they were not awarded a bye this year, and they are not happy about it. Why not? Well, you mentioned that overhauled roster. Only one player returning from last year, Isaiah Miles. That's because, yes, that COVID crisis, it has bit so many teams. So Team Hines either had players test positive, or players like their namesake, Kyle Hines, was unable to play because his EuroLeague duties were about to pick back up, and he was restricted from playing in a tournament so close to EuroLeague plays starting back up. Nonetheless, they are locked and loaded. They have reloaded, that's for sure. Keep an eye on Brandon Paul. He is your team captain for Team Hines. He, of course, brings experience from the NBA, his time with the San Antonio Spurs. Is there possibly a better place to learn leadership in the NBA? I don't think so. He is ready to exercise all that he's learned here with this TBT team. Do not take Team Hines lightly, Matt.
No, we certainly won't, Jen. And we spent about 40 minutes on a Zoom call last night with Isaiah Miles detailing exactly how they prepared for this. And, yeah, not a ton of familiarity with these guys in terms of being able to get out there and get practice time, Scar. Actually, they had some issues with their practice floor at one point or another.
Yeah, and Isaiah was telling us that the floors weren't very amenable to running around in sneakers. They were very slick, so they weren't able to really get up and down like they wanted to. But I tell you what, they have a lot of talent. The question is, and Coach Priscilla and Seth Greenberg, we all talk about this all the time, chemistry is so important in TBT. Will they have enough chemistry to even survive this game? Because this Sideline Cancer team, every year, comes ready to play in TBT, and this year will be no different.
Starting lineups this afternoon brought to you by Air Force Reserve. Explore your opportunities with the Air Force Reserve. Sideline Cancer, a lot of familiar names. We mentioned Diamond Stone. Maurice Creek, who started his career in Indiana and finished up at George Washington, is one of the ones to pay attention to. And the new addition, former Pittsburgh Panther, Jamel Artis. Letting it fly right off the bat for Team Hines. Brandon Paul, who's one of the guys to highlight. And we talked about Ethan Happ, a guy that likes to run and will give defenders problems going up and down the floor. Thompson trying to save it, couldn't do it for Sideline Cancer.
Number 3, Marcus Keene, is just 5'9", played at Central Michigan, but he is a guy who can score the basketball. Just a really good dribbler, tough to keep in front of, and he knows how to score in traffic even amongst much bigger players. Started off at Youngstown State, played at Central Michigan. He's a dynamite player.
A minute in, Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough, our sideline reporter Jen Hale.
Pressed it.
As Creek letting it fly, but left it long. And Happ right to the cup and right around Stone.
And he is silky smooth when he's putting that ball on the deck. So strong. Great job already. Nice start for Ethan Happ.
This is Sideline Cancer team, one of the original TBT squads.
Not many of those left, right? Showtime didn't get to come back. They were one of them.
And there's your guy, Marcus Keene. Guy who shot 41% from 3 in 3 games with Sideline Cancer a year ago.
He's got an array of shots too, man. Nice floaters going to the rim. Can finish at the rim even at 5'9". And of course, we saw his three-point abilities on display.
Brandon Paul able to match. And it gives Team Hines the early lead. Stone, the little mid-range, it couldn't convert. And
How
Team
good.
Hines, as we talked about, brand new roster. Isaiah Miles, the only holdover from what was a year ago.
Whoa. How good of a career could Stone have had if he had stayed at Maryland, though? Man.
Eric Griffin drawing contact for Team Hines.
Marcus Keene gets the ball screen, but he refuses it. Marcus Thornton, pretty good defense at 6'4", able to kind of stay with Keene, but he shot it over him.
Eric Griffin headed to the free throw line for Campbell. Or from Campbell, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, we went to the Big South.
Played his basketball in the Big South.
Yeah, EG, man, he was a really good player. Teamed up with Trey Freeman the first couple of years at Campbell.
And his Zell player share, $100,000 winning share sent with Zell. Eric Griffin's described by his teammate Isaiah Miles as a guy who likes to run the floor and dunk.
Oh, he'll do that. And the EG was going to be on that Florida TNT team that they were putting together. A pretty nice team. Rob Gray, some of the guys that played with Florida TBT last year as well. They were going to have just a tremendous lineup, but they didn't get in the tournament. And that just goes to show you how tough it was whittling this thing down to 24 teams from 64. And even at 64, there would have been a lot of good teams not able to get in, which really tells you how much TBT has grown in a short period of time.
Contact from Stone and score the basket for Griffin.
EG.
I guess it's more than run the floor and dunk.
He'll do that too, huh? And so many, you see that, that's like the cardinal sin, filing a guy shooting a three-point shot. But some of the reason that it happens so much more now is because there's more three-point shots being taken, and some of these guys are so good, if you don't absolutely bother their shot, they're going to knock it down. So the defenders are more aggressive than they used to be on three-point shots.
So already 10 out of the gate here in the first few minutes for Team Hines.
Griffin's got half of them.
And averaged almost the double-double at TBT a year ago. Had some summer league training camp stints with the Heat and the Mavericks.
Let's go. One stop, one stop, one stop.
And already out to 6 of the 11 points for Team Hines.
There you go, there you go.
Man, TBT has done a great job of putting this whole tournament together in Columbus. But man, it was going to be special with all those regions they were going to have down in Lakeland, Florida.
Watch hand, there we go. Watch.
Charleston, West Virginia.
Creek attacking the basket, score it, plus the foul.
Mo Creek, he's a big-time scorer. And so many guys that can put it on the deck for this team. Look at Mo Creek split the defense. Griffin, who is a shot blocker, went up to get it, but a little bit too quick with the release. And Griffin doesn't think he fouled him, but he had a little bit too much body. And Mo Creek will have a chance for the traditional three-point play.
Maurice Creek able to convert it. His time with Sideline Cancer actually started from an invitation from a player that was on the roster who ended up passing away in Jermaine Marshall.
Yeah.
It was January of 2019.
One stop. No, we got.
Marcus Thornton able to convert, bring this to a 5-point Team Hines lead.
To the floor, there we go.
But Jermaine Marshall, not the main reason for Sideline Cancer going out there, but one of them.
Yeah, of course, they're playing for pancreatic cancer research.
And Brandon Paul continues what's already a scintillating start from the outside. His second made three.
We've seen much better starts to today's early games than we did yesterday. And yesterday was literally the first basketball competitive being played in 3.5 months, so you can understand. But now there's a nice lather built up out there in Columbus.
There we go. There we go.
Paul using the screen and forced the issue on the contact to foul on Eric Thompson.
And that is great two-man basketball between two really good players, Paul and Hap. And all you can do is foul that. You get the ball screen, he turns the corner. Hap was about to roll, but once he turns that corner, Paul is looking to score, and all they could do really is foul him.
Eric Thompson gets a breather. Head coach Charlie Parker for Sideline Cancer. They play in honor of the Greg and Kathy Griffith Family Foundation. As Tim mentioned, pancreatic cancer research raising awareness. Pancreatic cancer projected to be the #2 cancer killer by the year 2022. Creek got the run out, tried to use the lift, and couldn't convert, but there to clean it is St. Bonaventure alum Dion Wright.
Dion Wright has really turned himself into a fine player. You think about him as a freshman at St. Bonaventure, averaged less than a point a game. And now, by the time he's a senior, he was an all-conference level player in the Atlantic 10. Hard to get that actual accolade because there's so many big players. But he really turned himself into a nice individual player, Dion Wright.
And part of the reason he's on this roster because of the shrunken field from 64 to 24.
And that fan base really was chomping at the bit to get that team in. I was kind of waiting for that too, man. St. Bonaventure is an underrated mid-major program.
A miss from Remy Abel for Sideline Cancer. And a 4-point game early on at Columbus, just getting warmed up. TBT is presented by Puma Basketball. By Air Force Reserve. Explore your opportunities with Air Force Reserve. And COVID testing for TBT is brought to us by Vault Health. Vault Health specializes in cutting-edge personalized healthcare for men. You can learn more at vaulthealth.com.
You gotta be there. I'm gonna go over the second one. Talk to him, let him know you're there. So far, I've been open on the late roll. The diamond's coming up, and I'm open. You hit me once, then that's gonna open up the backside three.
Fellas,
Run that floppy action. Let's talk diamond on first play out, all right? We're gonna talk diamond on first play out. Let's do that same thing again. Let's run off E and see if he shows out big time. I was open on the out of bounds play. On the slip, yeah. Just make sure you set the line, and he'll probably have to be out. Run that, watch that. I'm basking for E too. Basking if you want to diamond out of bounds. Okay.
Yo, a couple times too, we get tagged.
First play out, all right? We're gonna talk diamond on first play out. Let's do that same thing again. Let's run off E and see if he shows out big time. I was open on the out of bounds play. On the slip, yeah. Just make sure you set the line, and he'll probably have to be out. Run that, watch that. I'm basking for E too. Basking if you want to diamond out of bounds. Okay.
Yo, a couple times too, we get tagged Mo Creek. Okay. Where you going?
That's good work, fellas.
That's good work. Let's keep it going. We ain't do nothing yet.
Let's keep playing. That's what we gotta do.
We ain't do nothing.
Every quarter about 1 point, all right? No second chances. No second chances.
Gang rebound, fellas. We get tagged Mo Creek. Okay. Where you going?
That's good work, fellas.
That's good work. Let's keep it going. We ain't do nothing yet.
Let's keep playing. That's what we gotta do.
We ain't do nothing.
Every quarter about 1 point, all right?
No second chances.
Hey,
No
they
second
some
chances.
Gang rebound, fellas.
They're only one chance right now.
Yeah.
Only one chance. One and done. Yep.
They can play against
Yo, that stuff with Keene going to the basket, I'm fine with that. I'd rather him do that than, you know what I'm saying? No, we good. You good. You good.
Hey, we got to be help side too. Hey,
Mike.
we got to film help side. I know they got shooters. Come look behind me too. We got to be a little
So
bit
they're
more
talking about
Exactly.
trying to stop Keene on that ball screen, turning the corner. And they said it's actually okay if he does turn the corner. They'd rather have him taking it to the basket at 5'9" than stepping out there and splashing threes in their faces.
Team Hines with the early 4-point lead. Almost 63% shooting to start. They made 3 threes early. We wondered how would the new roster look.
Yeah,
So far, so good.
pretty good. Kyle's brother, Tyler Hines, is the head coach this year, assisted by Mike Martin and Alec Peters. Juan Dixon didn't come back to coach.
Creek with a little bit of range. Might as well have shot that from a Creek.
Good. Yeah.
8 now for Maurice Creek to bring Sideline Cancer to within 1.
He had a rough career in terms of injuries each year at IU. Ended with injury. Played that last year at GW. Oh, now that was a walk.
Eric Griffin got away with it. 8 early points now. Well, no Kyle Hines for Team Hines, but we'll be checking in as part of our E&J Family Spotlight. Can talk to him about the decision-making process in terms of what went into it. I know he handpicked every one of these guys, though, in terms of scouting.
Block, yep. They're running that horns. They run a lot of different things out of the horns set, Toots, where the 4 and the 5 come up and set a ball screen. Let's see what they get out of it. Let's see if this is a good call. Yeah, he is not in position. And Paul was trying to slide over to take that charge, but a little bit tardy with the feet.
Watch. Hand straight up. Hand straight up. Watch back.
Creek and Stone.
Straight up.
A little 2-game.
Let's go.
And couldn't get the jump hook to go.
Nice behind the back pass. And you know, that was the right pass. He wasn't trying to be fancy. That was just the lane in which he could get the ball to.
Contact for Marcus Thornton. Deion Wright hit him on the arm.
Marcus Thornton is a electric scorer at times, of over 2,000 points at William & Mary. When I lived back in Richmond when he was playing, I got to go down there a lot to watch him play. Every chance I get, well worth the price of admission. Called a few of his games as well.
Shot.
Well, the Zell player share sent by Zell for the former second-round pick of the Celtics, Marcus Thornton. $100,000. We had team heard that in our first game today, the mostly Marshall alumni. They were all going to split it evenly.
Solid.
But $100,000, nice chunk of change.
Yeah, it is.
Good job.
And well-deserved if you emerge as the champion with everything these guys have had to go through.
Let's go, push. Run your lane.
E.G. Eric Griffin can fly. He went up to the top of the square to erase that shot.
Come on, one more.
Isaiah Miles now on the floor, and the back door wide open.
Great cut by the St. Joe's star, Isaiah Miles.
Solid.
First 2 for the guy known to his teammates at SJU as Zeke.
Oh, he can't stand up. That should have been called traveling right there.
Head.
Keene had to make the split-second decision, and Stone capitalizing.
13.
Diamond Stone can still deliver when catching the ball 3 to 4 feet away.
13.
We talked about this for him as a potential audition. If you were scouting Scar, what are you looking for?
Well, you know, it's not just play. It's how you look, too. You have to look like you're in shape. And right now, he's probably got to get a little bit more cardio in that area. I mean, that's a shallow thing to say, but it's really what the NBA scouts are looking for. A guy who looks like he's been working out. And then you look at the motion. Can he move? Can he run the floor? Can he knock down shots on the pick and pop? As we saw, he missed that one, but it certainly looked comfortable taking it. And then can he protect the rim at the other end?
Play, young fella. Hold on, wait.
Early on, 1 for 4 start for the field for Diamond Stone. He's played 7 minutes.
The things that you ask of a big man in today's NBA is different than when Patrick Ewing and Hakeem Olajuwon and even Shaq and all those other guys that played in that era when the game was still dominated by big men other than Michael Jordan. The game was still dominated by big men well into the 90s. But now your bigs have to be able to pick and pop. They have to be able to shoot. They have to be able to guard a perimeter if they get out on a switch. You know, it's just a different skill set that they're looking for.
Attack, go,
Final 3 seconds. Jeremiah Gray got that blocked by Stone. Well, an almost brand new roster for Team Hines. But 9 minutes into this doesn't seem to matter. Open up with an impressive first quarter and plenty of balance. We'll be joined by the creator of this team, Kyle Hines, coming up. End of 1 in Columbus. And the 11th seed with the 7-point lead. Beautiful shot at downtown Columbus. Here are the basketball tournament's round of 24. It's Team Hines up 24-17 as we get ready to start the second quarter. Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough, Jen Hale on the sideline, and a special guest. The first one of this second game is Kyle Hines, who's the creator of Team Hines, handpicked this roster. Joining us from, where are you, Kyle? You back in South Jersey?
I'm back in South Jersey, sitting in my basement watching the game right now.
Well, let's talk about the way that you constructed this roster. You basically, from what we understand, pretty much handpicked these guys. Let's talk about a couple of them. Ethan Happ, for one. We featured him at the top of our broadcast. What was the reason that I guess you picked somebody like an Ethan Happ with the talent that he has?
Well, I mean, I got a chance to, see him play, during his time in Wisconsin. But then also this past season when he was in Italy, and then he spent a little bit of time in Greece as well. So I was a big fan of his, and everybody that's playing on this team right now is somebody that I respect and somebody I'm also a big fan of. So that was the main reason why I wanted to join the team, because I'm a fan of his. I enjoyed watching him play, and I felt like because of the respect factor that he would do a great job on our team.
Fran Fraschilla calls you one of the most decorated players in Euro basketball history. Talk a little bit about the fact that you played at Greensboro, was a 6'6" kind of undersized post player, but yet you've been able to parlay that into an unbelievable professional career. That's got to make you feel pretty good.
It's I've been playing for almost 13 years, so
wow.
I guess they say time flies when you're having fun. So, I've been very fortunate and very blessed to have a great career and made a great career for myself over in Europe. Initially I didn't necessarily know anything about European basketball, but I've been very fortunate to play on some great teams with some great coaches, with some great players, and I've had been able to have tremendous success.
Kyle, you just talked about the success that you've had in Europe. Obviously, as much as you love this tournament, I'm sure it was a difficult thought process in terms of not being able to come. But can you explain what went into that in terms of why you're not here in Columbus?
Yeah, it was a difficult, process. I mean, I love this tournament. I'm a big fan of the tournament, and I really definitely wanted to play. But because obviously the situation with COVID, my team is going to start practice literally right after this tournament. I have to travel back to Italy, and I have to be in quarantine for 2 weeks, and then we start practice right away for the upcoming EuroLeague season and the upcoming Italian season. So, talking to the team and talking to the trainers and talking to the league, we felt best because the season is so close and because I have obligations there that it was best for me not to play.
Got to take care of what's the things that are most important first. We appreciate the candor, Kyle, and your career and what you've been able to do in Europe. I think you're a great example of somebody who's had obviously a ton of success over there, but also I think could be a great role model for young guys who think that the only thing out there is the NBA when it comes to basketball. What can you say in terms of some of the younger basketball players out there? What advice would you give them?
That is kind of one of the main reasons why we put together this Team Hines team. We wanted to have, young guys, the opportunity to showcase their ability, especially a lot of guys that play overseas. Sometimes they go overseas and a lot of times they're forgotten about. A lot of people don't necessarily get a chance to watch them play anymore. So that's one of the main reasons why we put together this Team Hines team, to be able to showcase, the talented guys that are playing overseas. And, my advice to all guys, young kids that are playing, it's not just the NBA. I mean, you can have opportunity to, play and have a great experience overseas, but not only for you and also for your family as well. So, and I tell guys all the time, come overseas and play. I mean, you get an opportunity to, like in my case, I got an opportunity to live in Moscow, Russia for 7 years, or live in Rome, Italy, or live in Athens, Greece, and play basketball. So, for me, I don't think it gets much better than that.
Kyle, you're a great ambassador for this tournament. We wish you the best of luck and safe travels. Stay healthy, stay safe, and good luck in your travels overseas again. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Safe. All you guys stay safe as well.
My man.
And that part of our E&J family spotlight, the official spirit of TBT, E&J Brandy.
I can't believe that Kyle Hines has been playing pro ball for 13 years. I covered him when he was a freshman at UNC Greensboro. So that had to be 17 years ago. That is bananas. But man, he has turned himself into a fine pro. He's won championships and MVPs over in Europe, and he's done just a tremendous job. And of course, he's made himself a lot of money as well.
And he was our first guest on the E&J Family Spotlight. Check out what's new on the E&J Family at thefamily.ejbrandy.com. Well, don't look now, only a 4-point game as Marcus Thornton gets the layup.
That was the old screen-to-screener play that Kansas ran and still does. And you know what? John Stockton and Karl Malone used to run that to perfection too. Back screen, dive, then pop to the top. That time they got the dive guy.
And Remy Abel certainly with the ability from the outside. Now a 12-4 Sideline Cancer run, there to within 1.
This looked like Team Hines was going to run away with this thing, but Sideline Cancer, as we talked about, a seasoned team in terms of TBT. They had some really good showings last year out in Wichita.
Sideline Cancer foul number 2, Jamel Artis, his first, team's first. Foul on the shot, a 3-shot foul, so Isaiah Miles at the line.
Now top-ranked boxing. He's coming down the pipe. Our next top-ranked card Tuesday night in Las Vegas with 31-2 Jose Zepeda taking on 17-1 Kendo Castaneda, who's taking this fight on short notice, the 10-round junior welterweight main event. Our coverage of the prelims begins 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app.
So, Tooch, when you think about 2019 TBT, this Sideline Cancer team played out in Wichita in front of the largest TBT crowds assembled in the short period TBT was in. Of course, Wichita is a great town for college basketball. They came out and supported the TBT, and they had a Wichita team in the Aftershock team that Sideline Cancer knocked out in front of a sellout crowd. And now this year they're playing in front of 0 fans. What a difference 1 year makes.
Yeah, you have to create your own energy. Heard that. That was one of the things in our first game, Ja'Cory Williams, who was our FanDuel player of the game, ended up talking about.
Right.
Have to find a way to get yourself motivated. We discussed it yesterday. Just being able to stick around and not have to go to that exit hotel that TBT has set up. And with this being a fully quarantined tournament.
And this Team Hines team does a great job of protecting the rim. Notice where the help comes from. And you know, even if Ethan Happ didn't come over and seal off that drive, they had him covered in a couple different angles, but they're giving up. If you're turning that corner, you got to start looking for that skip pass to the corner to a shooter, because that's what's going to be open, because the help man is about 25 feet away from the guy he's guarding.
You got to switch,
Diamond Stone getting involved from the outside.
There you go, Diamond.
Yeah, that's a showcase if there ever was one.
What a name, right? He should have been a boxer. Diamond Stone.
Hey, he would have knocked out a few folks, right?
Good, Jamel!
Artis able to take this basketball away and had Eric Thompson, but out of bounds. Now at FanDuel, you can enter fantasy TBT contests, compete for real cash payouts all tournament long. Ethan Happ of Team Hines, one of the ones rostered for FanDuel users in today's TBT fantasy games.
Diamond Stone was named after the hardest rock in the world on purpose. He was Mr. Basketball in Wisconsin 2015, McDonald's All-American. But if your last name is Stone, why do you need the name Diamond, right? He's already hard.
Watch, hand. You good, you good.
It's a great point, Scott.
Watch. Hand.
Halfway gone here in the second quarter. Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough, Jed Hale. And more action from the outside for Marcus Keene as we're tied at 35 once again.
That happened quickly. Sideline Cancer has really gotten it going at the offensive end with their ball screen offense.
8 now for Keene.
Nice rebound.
Watch.
Eric Thompson able to pluck that out of the air. Artis running the floor, the self-touch.
And he was fouled too. Jamel Artis out of pit. And really, to me, he and Maurice Krieg are both the go-to guys on this team. Artis with 4 points. And obviously, Keene as well.
Rise up for Paul.
Oh, man.
And continuing to show his range. All 3 of his buckets from the perimeter, 9 for Brandon Paul.
And he's just a guy who understands how to shoot in traffic. Got his feet set, nice high shot, and a perfect touch.
And Keene couldn't stop his momentum, an offensive foul. And it's Paul getting it done at both ends of the floor. With 3 minutes left here in the second quarter. Back and forth affair. And Team Hines with the 1-point lead. Thanks to Paul, who's known to fill it up. TBT is brought to you by Air Force Reserve. Explore your opportunities with Air Force Reserve. And by American Eagle. All day, every day. Be comfortable. Be you. And by E&J Branding, the official spirit of TBT.
We've talked about Keene and Creek with good reason, but Remy Abel has quietly been a real productive force for Sideline Cancer as well. Nice pull-up jump shot in transition there. The former IU and Xavier star getting it done early for Sideline Cancer. A nice splashdown from downtown for Remy Abel. His cousin is Bo Jackson, and it's Remy that knows today, not Bo.
And Remy knows buckets, right?
No doubt. 5.9% of people playing him today. They have to be a little excited about his early 8 points.
Well, and Remy Abel rostered by only 5.9% of FanDuel users, where you can enter fantasy TBT contests, compete for real cash payouts all tournament long. But his team down by just a point now.
And I don't know if FanDuel is doing the target score predictions or not, but we didn't go on record the first game, so let's go on record this game too. You want to do it in the first half or the second? You want to wait till the game gets a little closer, or are you gutsy and you want to call it right now?
I mean, you just want to pull it out of pocket now? We can do it.
I want to say 81.
I'll go a little higher, 84.
All right, I'm writing mine down.
Okay.
81. Remember, it's Price is Right rules. You can't go over.
Oh, I forgot about that. You won yesterday. Little two-game Paul and Hap.
Oh, it's just brilliant.
Score the basket, +1.
They are running that same set, spacing the floor, a shooter in one corner, shooter in the other. The third player spaces out on one wing, and then you run a two-man game. Right there, they just ran a pin down and a dive, and they got what they wanted. But it's all two-man action between their two really good offensive players, Ethan Happ and Paul.
Now, Ethan Happ, who we featured at the top of the broadcast, 7 points in his introduction to TBT. Perfect 3 for 3 from the field. And stepping out again, Diamond Stone says, hey, I've got range and I'm available.
Somebody's going to pay that man. If it's not the NBA, he's going to get a job.
10 now for Stone, including a couple made threes. The showcase continues. Miles and Paul with the dunk attempt.
Tried to clean it up, couldn't quite convert.
Good find of Creek from Keene. barely got it there.
Look at Ethan Happ, such a good basketball player.
And threading the needle scar to Miles.
That is great to have a big be able to get a rebound, power dribble out, and start a break and deliver a pass. Look at this, right in traffic. And that is a precision pass. Great job of running the floor by your guy, Isaiah Miles from St. Joe's. He'll go to the line for a couple.
Baltimore native Miles. Actually a little Charm City connection between these two teams. He and Jamel Artis, AAU teammates basically since they were about 10 years old.
How about that? Basketball world is very small, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all have connections with each other.
He teamed with DeAndre Bembry at St. Joe's back in 2016.
Bembry's down in Atlanta with the Hawks, down where I live.
Has celebrated a birthday yesterday, born on the 4th of July. The two of them ended up talking on the phone.
What'd they say, fear the fro? Is that what they said when he was at St. Joe's?
Yeah, and boy, did they.
Man, he was a terrific Atlantic 10 player. Got
Stone.
to call a couple of his games.
Maybe getting a little greedy. Creek, second chance. And Stone hitting the glass. And the soft touch.
His name may be hard, but that was a delicate touch shot right there by Diamond Stone. He's getting it done right now for them.
Soft coal.
Soft coal. That's valuable as well, though, right?
I guess.
Man, look at Ethan Happ going to work.
Brown almost got the tap. It's Gilbert Brown who played at Pitt.
They said it's easy.
Diamond's got 2 now. But at the other end, Diamond Stone has been assertive offensively. Great job of hunting down that rebound and sticking it back in. Stick-to-itiveness and effort by the big fella.
All right. Telling y'all, we did 2 stops in a row. It's a different game.
A look at Diamond Stone. He's a McDonald's All-American out of Milwaukee. And was the highest rated recruit in the Mark Turgeon era at Maryland. But only ended up playing for a year, declared for the NBA draft. Was part of a Sweet 16 team that included Melo Trimble. But hoping he could get Sideline Cancer a couple of wins and make a run here and showcase himself in the process. Artis with a good drive and kick. Stone ready and willing.
Great catch and shoot. Diamond Stone is engaged right now. He is ready to ball. Great job.
Watch the off arm. Watch the off arm.
A lot of shine from the outside.
Skilled bigs. Happ and Stone battling right now, and it's not in the interior.
Griffith forced it up, and Creek ends up fouled. But what's the carrot on this?
This is a great job. When you turn that corner, you know, Ethan Happ had been helping. I talked about that. The pass was going to have to be that skip to the corner. They finally delivered it, and Diamond Stone splashes it from downtown.
That's an expensive rock.
Timeout taken by Sideline Cancer. They call a 30-second.
Now tied up at 45 apiece, and a third of the points for Sideline Cancer for Diamond Stone.
Diamond come back right into a flat. Let's get a bucket quick. Keene, once you get it, let's get one off within 5 seconds. So 2 for 1.
Hey, we need to stop on this end. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Sideline. What about 6? Cancer. Hey, we need to stop on the other end.
On some of those pitches that we're doing, yeah, like instead of like because
they're going to run a set for J.A.
3-point line, we might want to
Artis, Jamel Artis, off of a ball screen in that next possession. And they've done a pretty good job of running that continuity offense. As you see, former McGlynn, number 4 there.
If they're going under, if they're
hasn't
going
really played a lot today, just 3 minutes.
So it's in shooting range.
Inside the huddle, presented by Puma. Here at TBT, the $1 million winner-take-all tournament. Day number 2 with a round of 24.
One stop, fellas. One stop.
Some really good coaching is starting to develop here at TBT as well. It used to be guys were kind of teams. Some teams wouldn't even have a coach. You know, they just have guys who are playing, kind of coaching the team. But you really need strategy in this if you're going to try to win the $2 million. If you're just out here to play, that's one thing.
Diamond Stone has become a 7-foot sniper.
Hey, when you're auditioning before the world, you put all your skills on display.
Well, and how often do we talk about the NBA being so specialized?
Yep. And again, it's just a different skill set for bigs.
Nice cut for Happ.
One stop.
And gives Team Hines the lead. Shot clock off to finish up this first half.
Ethan Happ has great hands, slipping to the basket, easy finish at the rim.
5 seconds for Keene. Rise up. And couldn't get the friendly bounce, but a foul on the rebound. And Eric Thompson with 0.3 seconds left.
Team Hines foul number 23.
We'll get a couple of free throws.
Thompson hasn't scored or even taken a shot in 10 minutes, but he does have 4 rebounds. He'll have a chance to break in with 0.3 seconds. That's not a time you want to foul someone, but they prevented the sure two if he would have tipped it in.
I think we might have hit that Elam ending target score a little low.
It's kind of looking that way, isn't it? These guys are both close to 50 points.
Somebody's going to need some serious defensive stops in the second half.
On the shot. One shot. The lane's too small.
Eric Thompson, who played his Pro Bowl in Israel this past year. And 1 of 2. But entertaining first half. A combined 93 points between these two. A veteran roster for Sideline Cancer, a veteran team for Team Hines, but a newly reconstructed roster. Hasn't seemed to matter. They go into the break with this 1-point lead.
But Diamond Stone was really good for Sideline Cancer, 15 points and 4 rebounds in his audition for the NBA.
And let's check in with Jen Hale.
Indeed. Thanks, Matt. Here with Tyler Hines, who is coaching Team Hines. Coach, you have practically an entire new squad, yet this has been such a competitive first half. How did this team gel so quickly?
Man, we put in a lot of hard work in the last couple of days, you know, on and off the court, you know, just talking to each other, spending time with each other. You know, I got a group of dogs over there, so I'm very, very happy with this team.
I think Brandon Paul described them as gritty dogs,
yes,
as a matter of fact.
Definitely.
These two teams have been so evenly matched so far. Diamond Stone on fire for Sideline Cancer. What are your defensive priorities second half? Where can you find an advantage?
Yeah, we just got to, you know, have a hand up. This team is very good. You know, they're a veteran team in this league, and we just got to stay solid and put a hand up, and, you know, I think it's more of us, not them.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Matt.
More about us than them for Kyle Hines. And Team Hines so far halfway there toward moving on to the round of 16. 8 teams with byes. We've already handed out 5 trips. Still 3 more to come. And Team Hines halfway there. Stats, highlights, and more to come from Jen Hale when we return. TBT 2020.
You got me?
Halftime right now of our quadruple header. We are right in the middle of the second game of the day. Earlier this afternoon, we saw Team Heard That, the Marshall alumni group, advance to the next round. Congratulations to that Marshall group. Right now we have Sideline Cancer and Team Hines battling it out. And then the day, and right now, as you can see behind me, Team Hines, even though it's halftime, no locker room break for them. They must not be feeling winded at all. We'll see if they can maintain throughout the rest of the game. And of course, later in the afternoon, 2 more games as well. But first, a very special guest joining us here this Sunday, Miss Wanda Durant. Miss Wanda, thank you so much for joining us. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
We are doing fantastic. We are so happy that basketball is back. Miss Wanda, for basketball fans, you really need no introduction. The woman, the mom behind Kevin Durant, KD. How is he holding up with all this quarantine talk and the Orlando bubble and his injury, not being able to play for his new team yet? Give us an update on KD and his status.
Well, he's doing well. He's been healed successfully from COVID-19. And before the pandemic, he wasn't going to play this season at all. And so there was no rush to get back. Of course, he would have loved to have played with his new team, but they had to stick to the plan. And the plan was just to come back next season.
Better safe than sorry, but I tell you what,
yeah.
NBA basketball will be better once KD is back on the court. Now, Miss Wanda, you know yes, ma'am. You know basketball as well as just about anybody. I hear you are a big TBT fan. What do you think of this game so far between Team Hines and Sideline Cancer? It's been pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, it's a tight game, and so they're equally matched. And but I'm a little biased, so I'm for Team Hines. So hopefully they'll come through. I was hoping they would get a little rest on halftime, but I see that they're just ready to play, and so I'm excited. And I know the GM, Coach Mo, and he and I are good friends. He's like a son, actually, and so it's just good to see that the guys are playing again. And I'm just waiting for basketball. I just can't wait. Like most of us are just waiting for it to start, even though it's going to be somewhat different, but we just can't wait to see them play. So I'm excited.
We are so happy basketball is back. TBT has worked around the clock the past several months to bring basketball back.
Yes,
You've been watching the tournament for several years now because of Mo and because of Team Hines. How would you describe the caliber of basketball at TBT?
Well, I think it's an elite basketball, and I'm grateful that the guys get to display their talents just so they can be poised for greater opportunities. And so they are some really good players that need to be seen for bigger and better things. And so I'm happy that they have this tournament so they can showcase their talents.
Indeed, and we are happy to have something on television again, some form of live sports. Miss Wanda, thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
No, hey, it's the new normal, the new reality with all of this Zoom technology. Thank you for your time. We certainly appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the game, and we hope to see KD back out there sooner rather than later.
Sooner, next year sooner.
Your lips to God's ears. Thank you. Wanda Durant, Katie's mom, everybody. Well, you know, TBT means so much to so many people. For years, teams here at TBT have played for something larger than themselves, like Jimmy V for the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Carrying on with that tradition, this year, 2020, Ian J. Brandy and TBT are proud to partner with the National Urban League, the historic civil rights organization dedicated to economic empowerment, equality, and social justice for the underserved in America. Along with a $100,000 donation, E&J and TBT have invited our final 4 teams to play for the local chapter of their choice. Find out more information at nul.org. And who will those final 4 be's? Well, we will find out. And part of it will be seeing the end of this Team Hines, the result. Team Hines versus Sideline Cancer. Diamond Stone leading Sideline Cancer. He's got 15 points so far. What will he do second half? Stick around to find out.
I'm a little older, but. Halftime between Team Hines and Sideline Cancer in the basketball tournament's round of 24. Tight one in what's been a back-and-forth affair. As we bring you into the TBT Broadcast Center in Indianapolis, Matt Martucci and, of course, a socially distanced Tim Scarborough. You and I talked before this day started. We felt like this could potentially be the game of the day. So far, living up to the billing.
Both teams have been very efficient with the basketball, and their bigs are the guys who have gotten it done, but really they haven't gotten it done on the inside. It's been quality play on the perimeter for the most part. But early on, Diamond Stone took his game and his talents inside, hustling, getting second chance opportunities, but then he decided to go on the perimeter where he was 3 for 6 from downtown. This is an audition for the NBA for Diamond Stone. He only played 1 year at Maryland, trying to get himself a pro contract. He is ready for his close-up. Ethan Happ on the Hines side was brilliant at 6'10", great perimeter skills, and then his dives and slips to the basket. Time after time, they involved him in the two-man game, and right there, that was just sheer hustle and stick-to-itiveness around the bucket, able to get a nice catch and finish to have a nice half for him, 11 points in the first half.
And those numbers suggest pretty even first half, although Team Hines taking care of points off turnovers. Been a pretty cleanly played basketball game, though. The opportunities that Team Hines has had, they have taken advantage of, though, when Sideline Cancer has made mistakes.
Both teams have been able to get into the paint and score as well. And that happens because of the perimeter shooting. That opens up things, and also those two-man games that both teams are running to perfection.
Well, Jen Hale checked in with Tyler Hines before. Now a word from the Sideline Cancer sideline.
Yeah, Matt, I got a chance to catch up with Charlie Parker, who you see there in the middle, the longtime coach of Sideline Cancer. Just a great guy. Talking to him about where his team can find an advantage because, as you and Tim said, this has been such an evenly matched game. And Charlie said really for their game, what they like to do, they want to get out and run. Well, that's tough when you give up 47 points. So his message, his goal for his squad this second half is to get stops. And to Tim's point about Diamond Stone, really, Charlie just reiterated, he did not go overseas this year. He is focused on an NBA opportunity. He has been here training. So when you talk about fresh legs, he redefines fresh legs, not just from quarantine, but for preparing for months for this opportunity to showcase his talents and hopefully earn a spot somewhere on a G League or NBA roster.
And we hope that opportunity is there for him. Thank you, Jen. And Stone ready to go to work right off the bat. Mo Creek and Sideline Cancer quickly gets the lead.
Both these teams are showing you that they have a lot of professional players. The efficiency at the offensive end for both teams has really been solid.
Happ with a response at this end. Counted +1.
And that didn't take long. And you know, Jen just talked about getting out in transition, but it's hard to do that when you're taking the ball out of the net and having to take it out of bounds. But even off of the made bucket right there, Team Hines was able to get a quick one on their secondary break.
We featured Ethan Happ and Diamond Stone, a couple of TBT first-timers. Haven't looked like it. 13 now for Happ in what's 14 minutes.
This may be their first time in TBT, but both those guys are pros.
Yeah, it's not like they forgot how to play basketball in quarantine.
Watching. That's all.
Hey, good body control for Artis.
Jamel really hasn't been assertive. Just his second bucket, only his third attempt in 13 minutes.
Happ with the matchup doesn't want any of Diamond Stone, at least not at the moment.
Go get him, go get him. Go.
Shot clock inside 10.
Good recovery.
Griffith set the feet. And the rebound for Jamel Artis.
Get down there.
Well, Thompson did a great job of discouraging that Eric Griffith shot, but he shot anyway and made it tough on him.
One hand up.
Spin cycle for Artis. Stone wide open after he drew him in.
That was a really clean look thanks to the dribble penetration. Stone turned himself into a spot-up shooter, huh? Maybe overhelped right there. Almost cost him.
I got everybody down here.
Catch and shoot for Gilbert Brown, and Eric Thompson clearing.
What?
Keene, that's a Ward, and that's going the other way.
And that's a great call, because he created a ton of space with that left arm to get himself to the rim. But this is what we talked about, his ability to explode to the rim. But that time, Marcus Thornton in good position to defend. Thornton thought that was on him. You saw the look on his face, but nope, they called that offensive. There's Marcus Thornton.
Got the exaggerated step, but lost it. Griffin. And shows the better shot.
EG can't stroke it from 3, but he wants to drive the basketball, and you can see why, man. He is really good with those long arms, getting himself all the way to the hoop. Nice shot there. 10 points for him.
Gotta get back, fellas.
Yeah, he's had a good day. Former All-Big South guy at Campbell. So we get a nice look at Ethan Happ. He was a consensus second-team All-American
Stay solid, stay solid.
before he finished up at Wisconsin.
One hand up. Watch.
Keene using the screen from Stone. Got a little separation.
Run with him.
Paul filling the lanes with Brown. And free throw line trip.
Playoff foul right there, right?
Well, we're going to find out in a few weeks, right? What those feel like.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how sharp these NBA guys are that first couple of weeks before they get into their playoff scenario. Right now, I believe 22 teams will be in Orlando.
Now take a look at our Team Hines winning share sent with Zell.
One shot.
Each person to receive $100,000, so an even split, just like with what we saw from her that in the first game. The Marshall alumni team. Gilbert Brown picking up the free throws. Team Hines now back up by what's 2.
Nice hands.
Happ getting in the lane.
Now we go.
Creating his own.
Everybody's going for the ball, Mr. Paul. Everybody's going for the ball, Mr.
Paul thought he was fouled, and I kind of agree with her. It looked like he was grabbed a little bit. He would have had a chance to maybe run that ball down if he wasn't grabbed. He was complaining, but no call.
We got to earn everything.
Alfred Smith, Steve McJunkins, Edwin Young, our crew this afternoon.
NCAA officials.
Yep.
Stay solid. No home
I think Dan Dockich called Steve McJunkins the nicest guy he's ever met last night on the broadcast.
That's big coming from Coach Dockich. Saying that an official is a nice guy. It's funny how after we all get out of coaching, how friendly we are with the officials. I'm friendly with a lot of those guys as well.
Nice kick out, and Jeremiah Gray, the first we've heard from him.
What I tell you?
Team Hines back up 2 possessions.
What I tell you?
Gray has only played 5 minutes, but making an impact there with a knockdown from downtown. Little cushion for Team Hines, but Sideline Cancer has got a lot of weapons.
And Stone being one of them. Game honors for him, 17 points in the 20 minutes played today for Diamond Stone. Son of a former Division II All-American, Diamond Stone.
Roll.
Pick and roll, Paul and Griffin. And got the position, muscled it up.
Great footwork by Eric Griffin. Did not travel, but he gathered himself nicely. That was a tough catch, but he got himself recovered, able to stick it in. That was a great play.
Stone open, and the bottom dropped out.
Stone might be a little tired. That was a tired shot right there. It wasn't really a stroke. It was more guided to the rim, and they almost didn't make it. And you can see he's on his knees now. He may need a blow, get him back in there after he's recovered.
Come on, hands.
Now, largest lead for Team Hines this afternoon has been 9.
And he's played 21 minutes, pretty much the whole game, Diamond Stone. But again, that's part of the audition as well. Do you have stamina?
And the push off on Artis sends it the other way. Oh yeah, you talked about it, conditioning being a huge part of it.
It's definitely a component. And you know, that's really difficult to do because you haven't been able to play basketball for the most part other than working out. And working out is not the same as playing 5-on-5 against quality competition with referees and playing in that. It's just a different environment. It's hard to replicate. That's great.
No Stone in the game and taking advantage.
That was so good. The footwork, the body control, and then the finish high from the 6'10" Hap.
15 now for Ethan Happ, who spent this year in Italy.
Travel.
Okay.
Ethan Happ was opportunistic, seeing that the post was open and there's no help side anywhere. So it's him and the rim, and he wins.
Yeah, Ethan Happ in the Italian League. Serie A. One of the top ones in all of Europe.
Nice backdoor.
Right up. We got to earn it. Right
By
up.
himself, yeah.
And Paul hitting the glass.
3 pump fakes on that one play.
Earn everything.
And back to the largest lead for Team Hines. They're up 9 again.
Shoot. Watch head. Head. One hand.
He's got the iron if he wants them.
Rebound.
Creek left it on the heel. And more opportunity for Team Hines. Paul sniping.
Oh, man.
And a new largest lead.
How
was that? Brandon Paul. Splashdown from downtown.
12-point lead for Team Hines when we return.
We got fucking dogs, man.
Presented by Puma Basketball. By FanDuel, your home for TBT action. Win cash and other prizes all tournament long. And by American Eagle. All day, every day. Be comfortable. Be you.
I want Ethan's going to pick a side and he's going to go DHO. All right, so I want splits. I want splits here. You can pick a side whichever you're going to go to, but I want splits. This might be open. The pin down to a slit might be open for the pass.
Yes, look for that. I'll hit you on a bounce pass. Keep your cut though. Don't have that.
And you cut all the way through.
Yes.
You cut all the way through.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So let's go right. Ethan, let's go right. Yep. Eric, come with a pin down. Be Paul. Yeah. I want a back door. They're being aggressive, so I want to give you a back door. It might be a DHO key. You might have a DHO key, but after that.
So he's pinned down before I get to the pin down.
Pin down, I want you to go up. Right there. All right. After that, Eric, if they both go with him, you're going to have to pop back side.
These two guys interchange just to get the man moving on
the weak side. All right, delay action. Okay, let's start up one more time. You want to bring it up, get it to Ethan at the top of the key.
Brandon Paul has been solid at the offensive end. Who's going to win this $1 million? Team Hines, as an 11th seed, maybe a little underseeded. They have stars upon stars, and Brandon Paul is leading them right now. 5 for 7, 14 points. He has been carrying the load offensively.
12-point lead for Team Hines. Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough. And our next guest via Zoom from Team Challenge ALS, it's Sean Marshall joining the program. Sean, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
I know You're in the quarantine bubble, not far down the road from Nationwide Arena. But what do you think of these two teams in terms of a potential opponent?
I mean, they're both playing hard. We knew that they're highly talented teams. So we're just doing our best to scout them right now and come ready to play on Tuesday.
Sean, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is I think you guys are going to win this all. The bad news is I've never been right. So I really do think you guys have a chance, though. I mean, you've made some nice moves. Talk about your roster a little bit, particularly in the backcourt, along with yourself, obviously.
Yeah, I heard you say that earlier, and I appreciate you picking us, even though you've never picked right.
The Scarborough curse is what we call it.
We're going to try to break that. But, yeah, I think that this year we put together our best team in terms of our guard play, the bigs that we brought in, really mobile, the wings that we have that can shoot the ball. I think we have a team that can win it. And you guys know we always play with that toughness. We always play with that grit. So we're going to bring that this year. We're going to represent those names on the back of our jerseys as well as everybody else in the ALS community, and we're going to play with that chip on our shoulder.
Sean, one of your additions in that backcourt, Tyrese Rice, who's been rated by our panel a top 5 guard, top 5 point guard in TBT. Saw him a bunch, obviously, at BC, but for those who haven't seen him, what do you get when you bring a Tyrese Rice on your roster?
I've been trying to get Tyrese for years. He loves the tournament, but he's never wanted to commit to playing. So getting him this year, I mean, I think he's the best point guard in the whole tournament. He can score. He's an experienced player. He can pass. He can run a team. And down the stretch in the Eland ending, you need a guy who makes big shots, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's a big shot maker. He's always been that throughout his career, and I'm sure he'll bring that to TBT too.
One of the reasons why I feel like you can get there to the final game is because you've gotten to the final game a couple of years ago. You guys really had a nice run. Now the tournament is truncated a little bit. The course to the finals isn't that long. What's it going to take to get there?
Just the experience that I think we had the year that we did make the run. It's all about chemistry. How fast can you get a rhythm within your team, guys accepting those roles, and just everybody feeding off each other. And bringing that energy every single game is very important. And I think we can get there. Obviously, we got to go one game at a time, and we have to play one of these two teams who are both very good teams, and we respect them, but we'll be ready to play.
Well, Sean, I know this is bigger than basketball for you. You created this in honor of your roommate, Pete Freites, who unfortunately passed away from ALS. But we really appreciate what you're doing and the cause that you're behind. Thanks so much for stopping by. Good luck.
Thanks for having me. See you guys soon.
Yep. Later, buddy.
Sean Marshall, the GM, and of course one of the players on the roster as well for Team Challenge ALS, played his college basketball at BC. And everyone lighting it up for Team Hines.
Man, since Sean Marshall got on the air, I don't think they've seen a missed shot.
And they're stoned to bring this back to within 2 possessions.
My goodness.
I rescind my target score of 84.
Yeah, I'm going to have to amend mine as well.
We have waved the white flag.
Marcus Thornton able to go off that ball screen and shoot a pull-up. Here he is again.
Wow.
Same result. Knocked down for downtown.
Marcus Thornton getting it done from the outside. 12 down.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
The balance of Team Hines, Tim Scarborough. Now up 8. Have been up as many as 12, but 5 different players in double figures for them.
And that's got to be just wearing you out if you're Sideline Cancer, because they had just made a run, knocked down a couple of threes, but 6 straight points by Marcus Thornton kind of sobered them back up a bit.
And now Brandon Paul headed to the free throw line after the foul on Jamel Artis.
I really like the way this Team Hines team is assembled, though. All new guys, but yet able to bring out quality. I mean, you think about Nick Calathis and Hines and Mike James last year playing their way. And of course, they didn't have Nick Calathis in Chicago, and it might have been a different story. This Hines team was really good, well put together. And once again, new faces, but they have reloaded.
Ended up going out last year to TBT leading scorer from a season ago, Dwight Bikes. And Golden Eagles. Soft touch for Remy Abel. Said it before, no bone knows buckets. Remy knows buckets for Bo Jackson's cousin.
Remy knows pull-up jumpers, that's for sure. That thing is sweet. And he's 3 for 4 from downtown.
13 for Remy Abel. Got a 15-second differential shot in game clock, doesn't matter. Keene with a little theft, and back to 2 possessions.
And they tried to ball a dribble handoff, and Keene blitzed it and deflected it and got a run out. Nice play by the little guy. Keene with 16 points now.
7 of their last 7. Sideline Cancer as we wind this down. Paul, and left it short. One more chance for Keene.
Here we go.
And that'll count if it goes. Artis couldn't quite convert. And a 3, setting up for a good 4th, Scar.
And the pace has picked up tremendously. And the knockdowns from downtown. Abel off the dribble, pull-up jumper, splash. And at the other end, I tell you what, Marcus Thornton and Hines on the Hines team has been brilliant. But they got to get back on defense in transition. Keene, coast to coast, circuit to circuit.
You're out, goes in. Remember this one, right? We're gonna come over, we're gonna catch, set a big strong cross screen for me. Jarrell's gonna get to this block. All right, only this time what I want to happen is, Marcus, you're gonna go first. And on this stagger, curl the second screen and Isaiah's gonna pop back. You'll do the same thing.
Curl it tight.
Cut through, when you enter, try and get through as fast as you can, all right? Almost run through to clog it up a little bit so that when we curl, Isaiah can pop back. All right, you got it? We need to draw it again, draw it one more time.
So we getting out rebounded too.
Hell yeah, man. Gang rebound. Nobody should be running back. Got you real quick.
That's it. Yeah, all right, let's listen up.
Guys, all right, listen. This is where it gets different, all right? We got a 5-minute game right now. We have a 5-minute game and we're down 5. We need to break this shit even before it gets back to the 4-minute eliminating. All right, 5-minute game, we're down 5. We got to chip away by continuing to do what we're doing on offense and get a couple of stops, all right? Also, I'm in the ref's ear about the fouls. We got to be aggressive. All right, we got to get a couple attempts at the line. So let's attack and put the pressure on the ref to make a decision. Watch for the off arms. They've already called 4 on us, and they said they're watching for it. I got them watching for it down there, all right? But we do need to attack, make good decisions. If the shot is there, knock that shit down. All right, 5-minute game, we're down 5. We got to chip away by continuing to do what we're doing on offense and get a couple of stops, all right? Also, I'm in the ref's ear about the fouls. We got to be aggressive. All right, we got to get a couple attempts at the line. So let's attack and put the pressure on the ref to make a decision. Watch for the off arms. They've already called 4 on us, and they said they're watching for it. I got them watching for it down there, all right? But we do need to attack, make good decisions. If the shot is there, knock that shit down.
Hey, remember, too, foul accumulation right now, the elam ending.
Well, that's In the Huddle, presented by Puma.
And I'll tell you what, Tooch, this is a very key 5 minutes because, once again, TBT, Elam ending scenario. So at the 4-minute mark of this quarter, they are going to turn off the clock, the game clock. So if you're Sideline Cancer, the last thing you want in this 5 minutes is to go down double digits. If you're Team Hines, the last thing you want is to squander this tenuous 5-point lead. So this is the biggest moment of the game before getting into Elam ending, setting yourself up for the Elam ending is almost as important as the Elam ending performance itself.
Less than 5 minutes from Elam ending time. Isaiah Miles creating his own shot.
They tried to get Benjamin on the block. He's only played 4 minutes. Interesting that they ran a set for him out of the timeout.
Keene so quick for Sideline Cancer. Brings this back to a 3-point game. Marcus Keene, we knew he could fill it up.
Man, he's little, he's 5'9", but at times the biggest guy on the court in big moments.
And they ended up getting him via a connection from GM Billy Clapper, who's a coach down at the IMG Academy.
A little short. Yeah, that's a great pickup for Sideline Cancer. And they are right where they need to be, only trailing by 3. This, as we talked about, the next 5 minutes, very important. And if you're Sideline Cancer, if you can take the lead, you have to be feeling really good going into Elam ending. It looked like Hines was going to run away with this, but hold everything. This Sideline Cancer team is the real deal.
Coming up tonight at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, it's the final sports center of the day on ESPN and the ESPN app. TBT sure to be headlining another wall-to-wall day of basketball. Wish you a happy 4th of July weekend. Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough, and Jen Hale, our sideline reporter. Hopefully health, safety, plenty of smiles watching this as we bring live basketball back in 197 countries. And worldwide for Eric Griffin. 14 now. Has really showcased his talent. Back to a 2-possession lead for Team Hines. Stone. And a foul on the board.
Stay here.
Yeah, that's on Griffin at this end.
Thompson with just 1 point, but he's working on that glass. He's got 7 rebounds, and he got himself fouled there trying to get a stick back. But at the other end, E.G., the former Campbell star, Big South action, able to knock it down from downtown.
Face up for Stone.
Diamond Stone's second half has trailed off somewhat. Still has 19 points, but he's 3 for 9 from downtown. He was 3 for 6. He's missed his last 3, and all of them have been short, which is a sign of fatigue. That's a great matchup with those 2 guys right there, though, Stone and Happ.
And Stone again, not bashful from the perimeter, out of bounds.
He's aggressive.
Our American Eagle fan of the game this afternoon at Flight Club 5, all in on the money team to take home the $1 million this year at the tournament. And then our American Eagle fan of the game all day, every day. Be comfortable, be you. A plenty comfortable Ethan Happ in the lane, count it, +1.
He had his left arm being held, and he discarded the defense, took his time, was able to stick that one back in the bucket. Watch this, Tooch. This rebound right here in traffic. He's got his left hand on it. And look, right hand on it, and Stone had him with the left on kind of a hook. But he was able to stick that back in the rim. Look at that. He had to discard him and then absorb the contact and stick it back in the bucket. That's a big bucket at a big moment for Ethan Happ. Of course, his cousin is Jay Happ. Remember J.A. Happ for the Phillies 2008? Of course you know.
I was going to say, are you kidding me?
A couple of Philly guys broadcasting this. We know that Happ name well.
Was in the Phillies starting rotation when they won the 08 World Series.
Great rotation they had too, boy. Hamels, Halliday.
Heavy B, Joe Blanton.
Was Blanton the starter? He
was. Wow. He can hit the ball in the playoffs too.
Glory days of the Phillies. Of course, J.A. Happ is now a pitcher for the Yankees. Boo.
Yeah, is that going to start soon, right?
They're planning on it.
We'll see.
Here we are as kind of the incubator for the whole world, really, right? The whole sports world. It's certainly in team sports. There's been some other non-team sports that have gone forward in this worldwide global pandemic. But, you know, this is kind of the blueprint, if you will, and TBT so far has been able to pull it off.
A fully quarantined tournament where players had to take at least 5 COVID tests before they even stepped on the floor. And then if you win, you have to take another one 2 days later. Two-possession game.
So in theory, everybody in the building, and I mean everybody, staff, referees, coaches, players have been tested multiple times, and in theory, none of them will have the virus.
And still more to come. Thompson in the middle of the lane. Nice feed from Keene as we approach Elam ending time.
Here we go. Let's go. Line them up.
I said everybody. I didn't include Jen Hale. Of course, she's in it as well. And, you know, you think about us being in Indianapolis, I think we kind of dodged the bullet there, not having to go into the bubble, right?
And let's check in with hashtag TBT embedded. Jen?
Matt, it has indeed been a process. Multiple tests, yes. I've had 5 already. I have to take another one tonight when I get back to the hotel. Over 1,800 tests have already been done here at TBT. And if you're curious what they look like, it's a saliva test. And here is the results of my test from July 3rd, which I got July 4th, yesterday. And if you look at the subject line, your test results are in. That's the email you get. So it's always a little bit nerve-wracking. A, when you take the test, and then B, when this email pops up in your inbox. And as you're hitting the email to open it, your just fingers are crossed and you're praying, please let it say negative. Because yeah, it's one positive test and you're out of here. You go home. So TBT has taken all the precautions they can possibly think of. They brought in experts from Johns Hopkins to advise them on the best, safest way to do a bubble. And I have to say, the process is obviously working.
And I gotta say that you are the MVP because we don't have an understudy for you. So keep getting those negative tests.
Look at Keene from the outside. Took his tests and passed, even on the floor.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I've passed 5 tests in a row in college.
Look at this from Marcus Keene.
That is deep, a little contact, but just enough to get a whistle. A courtesy whistle, because I don't think there was a lot of contact enough to make a foul. But nonetheless, Marcus Thornton tagged with that personal and a big bucket and a big moment by Keene, keeping them close.
The stars at night, big and bright, the pride of San Antonio, Texas.
That would have been big. Could have cut it to a 1-possession game, but with 2 minutes to go, this is where the chess match will now begin in the Elam ending scenario. Which team will go into the Elam ending with the lead?
We got attack. We got attack.
Half the body and punched off the glass by Thompson. Abel. Griffin with a recovery at this end.
This is big.
Filling it. Thornton and Brown.
We got one.
That was a big exchange right there. And Eric Griffin is really doing a great job patrolling the paint at the defensive end. Look at this at the offensive end first. A block at that end, but then watch Eric Griffin. Another negation at the bucket, which led to a transition opportunity. And if they had cut that lead to 2, we'd be looking at a different scenario right now. But now, Team Hines with a chance to get a 6-point lead with a couple of free throws with just 5:42 to play.
Gilbert Brown headed there. Try and push this a little further as Diamond Stone shaken up after that play. Brown, part of an era of Pitt Panther basketball. You felt like a lot of those guys were interchangeable because so many of them were so good.
Yep.
Like you think about some of his teammates, Sam Young, DeJuan Blair.
DeJuan was a TBT guy, overseas elite.
In that backcourt, you remember Levance Fields?
Sure do.
Ended up dueling with Scotty Reynolds in the tournament.
Scotty Reynolds, Villanova. Former Herndon High School star in D.C.
That's a strong take from Remy Abel.
I shouldn't say D.C. I should say Northern Virginia. I got to be precise with the DMV folks.
Talk, ET. Dion, talk to your teammate.
Well, we're going to miss our target score.
Oh, we've already missed it.
Paul left it one and done. Coming up on Elam ending time. Keene, acceleration. Gear shift to the basket.
Come on. Hey!
Keene has a gear that nobody else on that floor has. Woo.
What is it? A 30? Guys, it's a 30.
We are tied at 80. What a game.
Hey, 30. Guys.
Keene with 23 points right now. In transition, Marcus Thornton, bless his heart. He tried to stop the ball, but my goodness, what a blow-by. Look, watch this gear. Boom. Roadrunner action right there. Marcus Thornton left in the dust.
And tied at 80 apiece. We thought this had the billing to be the game of the day. So far, so good. The Eagles, for those that are too young, a band that have sold the 4th most albums in the U.S. all time. Only the Beatles, Garth Brooks, and Elvis have sold more. They played 3 sold-out shows at the Fabulous Forum in Inglewood, California back in 2018, and they made a film out of those 3 incredible nights. We'll have the premiere tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, on ESPN and the ESPN app. Current Eagles, Don Henley, Joe Walsh, Timothy B. Schmidt, Deacon Fry, that's Glenn's son, and Vince Gill.
How about that? Vince Gill, the country singer, a solo artist in his own right, now part of one of the best groups of all time in a different genre. You didn't think I knew about that, did you?
You're a man of all musical genres. Nothing surprises me about you, Scarborough. Paul following his own miss. As we're about 53 seconds and a dead ball away.
Every possession so big, and Marcus Keene has been unbelievable here in the second half. 15 points of his 23 total have come in the second half, and late game is when he has the ball in his hands. Again, the smallest guy on the floor, but he comes up big in big moments. And it's amazing, we talked about Team Hines being an 11 seed, and maybe if they if they were sure what they were going to bring back, probably would have been seated in that top 8 and maybe even gotten a bye. But now they're in danger of losing in this first round. This Sideline Cancer team is giving them all they want right now.
Brandon Paul helping the cause with a couple of free throws. Team honors and scoring for Team Hines. 20 now for Paul.
Stay solid. Stay solid. Go.
Played in the Chinese Basketball Association back in 2019. And filled it up there. Speaking of, here's Keene. And again, doing work on the glass, but Griffin sending it back from Eric Thompson.
4th block for Eric Griffin.
And Keene says, I don't care. 82 apiece, tied again.
So now, 4:22. Do you take the shot if your Team Hines with the score tied, or do you wait and get it under the 4-minute mark and call the timeout?
Brown, and that's a costly turnover potentially.
Huge, and now the same scenario exists for Sideline Cancer. What will they do?
One stop. Stop right here, fellas. The big one.
Looks like they're going to run a possession, too.
Hand up.
Keene going to the cup. Abel on the rise.
Rebound.
And the glass got his own rebound.
That's the one.
Sideline Cancer, after being down as many as 12, back in front, headed to the Elam ending in Columbus. Don't go anywhere. Good basketball continues.
Will be shut off, and the first team to reach 92 points will win the game. Previous play under video.
Another angle. Another look.
Another look.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot closer than.
Run that last one back.
You run that last one back.
From the top view, the house view. We need that.
Yeah.
Okay. They want
From
that,
the high
that
camera.
View,
Yeah.
high view again.
From the house.
Yeah.
No. Hey,
Actually,
hold on.
roll it.
Yep,
Keep
going.
playing.
Can you go back again slowly on that right
Okay.
there. Slow, stop.
Now stop and blow that up. Could you blow that up?
Shit, hold on here.
Yeah.
I think you got it right.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
You good with
You got it right.
2-point basket. Yep.
Good.
Damn, look at that.
Yeah.
That
I
was a lot closer.
called it a 2. It's confirmed as a 2.
Earlier play confirmed, which means that our target score is officially 92 points. The first team to score 92 points will win the game and be 4 wins away.
Target score, there it is on the board. It's Elam ending time at the basketball tournament, round of 24. Game number 2 of what's 4. And the 2-point lead for Sideline Cancer. What exactly is the Elam ending? If you're new to it, first stoppage comes at or under 4 minutes in the 4th quarter. You stop the game clock, you set the target score. What is the target score? Leading team score at 8. First team to get to that target score wins, moves on, sends the other team home. And one little new wrinkle on non-shooting fouls during the Elam, the team is awarded free throw and the possession. So 1 free throw and then the basketball.
We good. Come on, y'all.
So challenge ALS, waiting in the wings.
We missed that target score by, I missed it by 11. I had 81.
I said 84,
yeah,
right?
I guess you beat me on that one.
Run out for Creek. And Griffin punched it out, but contact.
Griffin's just a terrific athlete.
End to end, so quick.
Yes, and he's already officially got 4 blocks. And we would have had another one here, but he got a foul. And that was pretty clean, too. Woo.
That's a lot of body and no arm.
Yeah.
Clean block, but called it on the body.
Because remember the principle of verticality, though. The offensive guy ran into him. He has the right to jump straight up. I guess they say that he wasn't jumping straight up because they were both running. Big free throw missed there. But how about Sideline Cancer getting into an Elam ending scenario with the lead, having trailed most of the second half?
And I mean, we talked about it down as many as 12 midway through the 3rd quarter.
And it was 75-70 at one point. Since then, they've been able to take a lead.
3 points, but what's most important, 7 closer to finish this out. 1 point closer to get there.
Really good basketball played at both ends by both teams, though.
Griffin, and got contact from Wright that time.
Deion Wright wondering what he did. A lot of contact being initiated by both players, but nonetheless, it's Eric Griffin who's going to go to the line to shoot a couple, trying to get Team Hines to stave off this upset-minded Sideline Cancer. It has not been easy for them.
Let's go, gentlemen. 2 shots.
That's assistant coach Alec Peters, who was supposed to play in TBT, but because of an offer in Spain has become their X's and O's guy.
How about that?
Their assistant coach.
Of course, a standout at Valparaiso.
White, stay together, Hines. Stay together.
And this Team Hines team constructed by their GM, Muhammad Smith. Jen Hale visited with his mom at halftime.
Mo Smith, that's my guy. What's up, Mo?
Here we go. Let's go. 1 stop.
And both free throws
It's
for
the
Griffin.
biggest stop of the game right here. Big stop, fellas. Big stop.
Uber efficient today for Eric Griffin.
Watch. He had.
Keene, speaking of efficiency. Got the separation and got the friendly bounce.
And they're running their horns offense about 28 feet off of the top of the key, 28 feet from the rim. And they're doing that to give Keene space so when he turns the corner, he can still be behind the three-point line and perhaps get a three-pointer.
Paul was thinking about the tie. 5 away now after Marcus Keene continuing to fill it up.
Yeah, they have no answers for him right now coming off of that ball screen.
Paul trying to even it up and can.
He may have gotten fouled. He was asking for a foul as he was launching that. Keene, who is way shorter, was able to kind of bother him down low.
One stop.
A couple of wins in Wichita a year ago.
One stop.
Ended up upsetting Self-Made, and then aftershocks. Keene rise up.
You see,
and Paul got poked in the eye.
And that's exactly what we were talking about, or I was saying at the last possession. When he turns the corner and gets around that ball screen, he's still behind the three-point line. And right here, he gets a very friendly roll at a big moment of the game right there. Keene's got 27.
We saw the favorable rim a lot yesterday. Brotherly Love, who ended up winning and coming out of that as the 12th seed. Ended up hitting both sides of that rim a couple times on that end.
It was friendly.
Yes, it was.
So Sideline Cancer just 5 points away. But now they're going to get, Hines is going to get one shot in the ball. Paul can't convert.
Come on. All right.
So fouling becomes something that you really don't want to do, was even non-shooting fouls especially. Giving up a free point, although he missed the free throw, and then you have to play defense for just 20 seconds, I guess. They don't get a full reset.
Stay solid. Stay solid. Stay solid. Stay solid.
The face up for Hap.
No
One of the little two-game with Marcus Thornton.
Here comes the double. It's got to come. Got to give him help. Here it is. There you go.
And got locked up there with Thompson.
Pretty good defense by Thompson, though. But at some point, he's either going to foul. Hap is either going to make you follow or he's going to score. See what we're talking about here. And the double has to be timed perfectly, and it was. And Creek, a skilled player, able to do, and that is a tough shot right there. Unnecessary one.
With the shot clock winded down, but Hap attacking. Got the offensive glass in the finish.
But you gotta pump fake to get that defender up because he knows you're under duress, and then you can get a foul there if you're Brandon Paul.
+5 versus +6. This is what we envisioned when the day started for this matchup.
Move it.
Lived up to the billing.
Stay solid. Stay solid.
Right, try to use the left.
Let's go.
And Griffin ended up getting a piece.
Man, is he special.
Horns.
Winner moves on to the round of 16.
And obviously, if they score here, they take the lead, but more importantly, they'll be that much closer to the 92, the target score.
Back over.
Gilbert Brown after the screen from Hap. Got it to him and left it long.
That is a tough shot, a 10-foot baseline jumper in traffic. He's not as easy as it looks.
Keene.
Oh, push behind.
And Thompson getting pushed out of the play. Foul on Team Hines.
Thompson has just 1 point, but he has impacted this game in other ways. That's his 10th rebound right there.
We said we handed out 4 bids yesterday to the round of 16, 2 more today. And still 2 to come. So 4 total today. 8 teams with buys and 8 advancing with victories in the round of 24. Overseas Elite still waiting for the winner of Armored Athlete and Power of the Palm. And Heartfire and Menomaki still to come. Menomaki, those Purdue alumni. And we talked about all the additions for Overseas Elite as Thompson takes care of the free throw.
So Sideline only needs 2 possessions.
Watch.
And I guess technically, so does Team Hines. They're only
Stay solid.
6 away from the target score.
Watch. No tic-tac foul.
4 away thanks to the made foul shot. Thompson's only 2 points from the free throw line. He's been huge on the glass, though.
Give it to him.
Shot clock down to 7.
Watch it.
Creek.
Rebound.
Hey, got it stripped. Here comes Thornton.
I don't know if EG is going to get another block, but Griffin knocked that one loose, too.
Thornton switched hands. Thompson got the block, but out of bounds. Artis was on the line.
So if you're Team Hines, you want to make sure you get something good in this possession and put the pressure on Sideline Cancer. I know we're still a couple of possessions away, but you do not want to be teetering on elimination, giving up a bucket if you don't score here.
Brown setting up Thornton. And fouling the rebound. That's going down the other way. It's on Griffin.
Great call, Riff. 21.
And Griffin and Thompson have been doing battle all night long. And that time Griffin tagged with a personal. That one could have gone either way too, in my opinion.
Now Jamel Artis, one of the new additions to Sideline Cancer, talking to GM Billy Clapper, said they wanted to bring back their top 7 from a year ago, and they were really excited about Artis. Ended up finding him from Terry Matsko,
Going back to the telly.
Baltimore City Community College coach. And Artis puts them now a point closer, and 3 away.
And fouling even right there, and that was unfortunate. Eric Griffin just trying to get a rebound, but fouling is detrimental in the Elam ending scenario because you give up a free throw and a possession.
Keene on the kick out, Abel looking for it.
And that's the mistake so many teams make too, trying to go for that 3 when they get 3 points away from it.
Paul tried to get it to go. Free throw line trip coming for him.
It's okay to take the game winner, but get a high percentage game winner, and sometimes that might just be a 2-point shot. I thought that was a forced 3. And that leaves the door open, at least momentarily, for Team Hines.
Come on, man.
Step in, Ren, step in.
2 p.m. tip coming on what would be Tuesday against Challenge ALS for the winner of this one.
Brandon Paul and Ethan Happ have carried the load, each with 20, but Paul has gone ice cold here in the second half. Misses that free throw. He's now 6 of 17, and 13 of his 17 attempts have been from beyond the arc.
That has to be legs, right, at this point?
It is, but you know, he also has 13 rebounds as well. That is a monster game.
At 20 and 13 at 26 minutes today for Brandon Paul.
Let's go.
So +3 versus +5 to get to the Elam ending.
So now if you're Team Hines, you definitely have to be thinking stop and no threes. You'll give up a 2, but you don't want to give up a 3.
3 away for Sideline Cancer. Can they get there?
I thought it was going to advance. Guys, it don't matter where.
Full timeout. We will take the meeting
Good shot.
Yeah. Let me think about this.
Guard to guard, hands on, talk on the switch.
Is it motion?
12 and 13, the ball screen, back screen works if we hit the big dude. And point guards, be patient. The big man might be wide open on the roll. Because they've seen it so many times, they know the shooter's popping back. So let's stick to those. Let's stick to 12, 13, and let's run a horns 2 or horns 3. All right? Only this time, let's do the pin down. Instead of a back screen for the guard coming from the top of the key, use a pin down, but the guy at the elbow fake can go back door. Instead of coming off the pin down high, let's go back door. On horns 2 or horns 3.
Fellas, they're not going to give us anything, okay? This is the biggest stop of the game right here, okay? Don't argue with the ref.
No. Oh, shit.
No 3. Stay solid, okay?
In the huddle presented by Puma here at the $1 million winner-take-all tournament. TBT, 7th year. Day number 2 of what is a quadruple header. It's our second game of 4. Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough, Jen Hale on the sideline. And Sideline Cancer 3 points away as the 22 seed from moving on and setting up a Tuesday matchup with Challenge ALS, who you like as the favorite. And if they move on, I don't know, Scar. I smell upset.
Well, you know, we talked to Coach Sean Marshall about it, also the player Sean Marshall, but they are ready to play. They know these teams. They know that no matter who they play, it's just going to be a tough road to the championship. It just is.
Well, as far as matchups go, give me Marcus Keene against Tyrese Rice all day, every day.
And don't forget Casper Ware,
yeah,
too.
That too.
Ware versus Abel is a nice matchup.
Here's Keene, setting up Artis. Got the fake, and got a little greedy, wanted the pass.
Look at this.
Paul
Tie game.
tying it up.
Wow. Oh, this is just drama at its finest. This is exactly what Elam ending is designed to do.
How we wondered about legs for Brandon Paul, enough to get the layup.
And a 3-on-1 break there, so they were very lucky that they finished that. They would have been up against it, but now Eric Griffin looks like he's going in a tunnel. They need him at the defensive end. 16 points as well, 4 rebounds, 5 block shots.
Yeah, he's been so efficient at both ends.
Watch. Go ahead, ET. Go ahead, ET.
Remy Abel.
Watch Gil. Watch Gil.
And now Marcus Keene.
Watch.
Trying to shake Brown and Hap.
He had a chance to get to the rim, but he was cognizant of the three-point line.
Shot clock down to 8.
Oh my
And
God.
nice slip, and Thompson brings them to within 1 from moving on.
Great delivery, and it happens because Team Hines did not want to give up a game-winning 3, and that slip and the pocket pass delivered on time. UPS.
Come on, sit down.
How about this? Eric Thompson hadn't registered a field goal until now.
Yeah, we talked about his impact on the game, though. He's playing post defense, and there gets an easy one. He's got 10 rebounds to go, but that dunk right there has sent Sideline Cancer ever so close to pulling off the upset over Team Hines.
A reminder that we moved to ESPN2 for the night session tonight, but still plenty to come here.
No. Listen. We're going to switch everything.
Chris Foster's, Dan Dockich, Jen Hale.
Hey, make sure you don't foul on the floor to get a shot and the ball. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Hey, don't foul. Don't foul. Yeah. If he gets a layup, he gets a layup. Exactly. He gets another chance. Watch out for Miles, yo. Watch out for Miles.
Hey, on the way back down, we're going to go 2-guard front again, all right? If we don't need the handoff. What you want?
Man, them two.
Yeah, no, give him the ball.
They're going to get this quick screen, quick. So when you get here, shoot out. Shoot out to the corner. And if they switch, read it. He's going to be open on the switch.
Fellas, if you fuck up, listen. If you fuck up, run it again. All right? No home run plays. Come on, we got 23 seconds. Team Hines on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yo, guys.
It's like Hard Knocks,
Go for the rebound.
TBT edition.
Up close and personal. And right now, Coach Hines is telling them that they can go for the knockout punch here. But if you're Sideline Cancer, they already said they're going to get that stop and certainly not going to give up a 3, and then they're going to run their 2-guard set that they ran on the prior possession. That seemed to work for them.
Thompson coming up with a switch off Thornton.
Notice the defense is fully extended. They do not want to give up a 3. But right now, Ethan Happ has a 5'9" player on him. Take the short, too.
Kicks it out to Brown, who's going to take the dunk.
Man, Ethan Happ, all he had to do was turn around and drop the ball in. But they're so cognizant of that 3-point shot. So now, this is it, Tooch. Next bucket wins, just like the playground.
Challenge ALS waiting in the wings.
Show.
Keene off the cross. See you Tuesday.
Yeah!
Sideline Cancer sending Team Hines home in Columbus.
Marcus Keene delivers the knockout punch. We talked about the little guy being big in big moments. He says to Team Hines, you ain't got to go home, but you got to leave the bubble immediately. Wow. The crossover, the mismatch on the switch with the 5 Hap. No match. This is a mismatch. Great screen. Thornton gets hung up. Hap thinks he's going to take it to the rim. Instead, he pulls up and shoots a dagger. Big bucket by Keene. 29 points. None bigger than that.
21 of them coming in this second half for Marcus Keene, who ends up as our FanDuel player of the game. And no surprise, ends up with almost 41 FanDuel fantasy points. Those 6 rebounds and 6 assists helped just as much if you rostered him. And Sideline Cancer putting up the placard. Player of the Game by FanDuel. Enter fantasy TBT contests and compete for real cash payouts all tournament long. Well, that'll do it for us. Our final score from Columbus, Sideline Cancer 93-91. Still 2 more games to come. Stay tuned for more TBT action. 2 hours on ESPN2. Team Heartfire and the Purdue alumni, Benham Mackey, Chris Bosters, Dan Dockage calling the action. And for Tim Scarborough, our sideline reporter Jen Hale, and our entire crew, Matt Martucci saying so long. Thanks so much for watching TBT.